compassion ministries, meeting people with legitimate physical crisis needs, and also spiritual, sharing grace through that. So thank you for being with us today. We're going to show you by way of video, if you would play that.
Feels like last year I put on pause. But thanks to you, we have seen more people served and more lives changed by the love of Jesus than ever before.
We are the Helping Hands Food Pantry of Teaneck. She was in the hospital for 17 days and then was put on a ventilator and then she didn't make it. I'm still waiting for her to walk through the door. We have to close, but we have limited resources. When sometimes no pun intended, you don't feel there's close. You had something rolling in. You gave us that little oomph we needed to get back and fight for what we need to do around here. You inspired a lot of broken people to get back up. They say God moves in mysterious ways. Oh, I came in a church jail.
You make stories like this possible. Thank you.
Good morning, there we are. Are we better? Getting there. Good morning. So good to see you. And I'm sure it's good for you to be with each other as close as you can possibly get. Who knew a year ago that this would happen to us and that we'd be wearing masks and that we would be buying 300 pounds of toilet paper? It is so good to be with you, and on behalf of Convoy of Hope and Hell Donaldson, I want to say thank you. You make stories like this possible, and this morning I want us to talk about some stories. The stories that you've had impact on, and the stories that are yet to come. So, I've been married to Pamela, my wife, coming up in June for 45 years. And that is good. You should, if you ever see her, tell her, wow. Yeah. We have 3 children. We have Christy and Chad and Dustin is our youngest. And I want to tell you a little bit about Dustin. When Dustin was in 2nd grade, Pam went into his room on a Friday morning to waken him because he didn't have to go to school. It was parent-teacher conference. She said to him, Dustin, your dad and I are going to talk to your 2nd grade teacher. And he woke up out of a sleep and said this, if she tells you I cuss, I don't. So we went to see his teacher, and she said, you know, your son is a leader. Unfortunately, he's leading everybody in the wrong direction. We had some issues with Dustin. We should have known, and as we saw these signs happening, and at one point we had to resort to a spanking, and so I spanked him, and you'll get a little bit of Dustin personality in this. I spanked him, and when we got done, he turned to me and looked and said, is that all you got? No, I got more. There was a time that he and his friends decided to throw rocks through the windows of an abandoned house. Only it wasn't abandoned. And we found out because the police called us and told us to come get him. So we tried putting him in Christian school, and we went to see his teacher, and this was a very conservative Christian school, and his teacher was a very conservative Baptist lady, and one of the most conservative Baptist ladies I've ever met. And a poor lady, she had Dustin in class, and she began to talk to us, and she said, well, first of all, Dustin doesn't do any studying, and he doesn't turn in any papers. She said also he tried to set the room on fire by sticking a bobby pin in the socket. And thirdly, and I'll tell you exactly what she said, and your son likes passing gas in class, and he likes it. So, at the end of the year, the principal said to us, please do not bring him back ever again. So then we put him back in public school, and he flunked every class. How do you flunk health class? You just have to show up. What we didn't know is that for over 7 years, he was in clinical depression. That depression brought on for him this really strong sense of despair. Despair is a very destructive emotion. Despair is a cloud of confusion. Despair creates a mindset that says this, that life is horrible, tomorrow will be no better than today, and nobody cares. So now you know the Lord's Prayer. I want you to start saying it with me, because I just want to look at the beginning of that. So would you say it with me? Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, where? On earth as it is in heaven. Just stop there. Whatever's happening in heaven, he said we can pray that it will come down here on earth and be here. It is the very core of what Jesus said to his followers when he said, you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you shall be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, and all parts of the world. You will receive this enormous power that will give you the ability to tell your story and reenact it in places that are next to your neighbor and other nations. That power will come into you and give you the ability to discern and to speak and to pray and to bring that power